Kia ora, Sagittarius. This is your reading for this new moon in Gemini, which is proving to be an interesting time, I think. We just have just doing a general overview, general energies. Let's just go through, and we do go back through and clarify. We've got the Nine of Wands here. Nine of Wands, a slight dampening of the energy, will center. But in fact, you know, traditionally the Nine of Wands would be described as like a wounded warrior, so the default defense behaviors, you know, that we all have the ability to express at various times. Interestingly, though, the Nine of Wands in the Thoth deck is called Strength because in some ways in this deck it indicates we've got to a certain point, and what's the next card that comes? The Ten of Wands is the point where we decide to let go of any burden there, or carrying a load, and that load could be anything. Workload, life load, you know, too much pressure, whatever it is, that seems to operate as a burden. So when we look at the Nine of Wands in this deck, it is largely about, depending on the other cards, of course, you know, the ability to have quite a fortified and confident sense of our own strength at the same time. So let's just keep going, Sagittarius. We look at position. So we're looking, you know, so I kind of get a nice feeling off that Nine of Wands. Transformation, next card up. It could actually, to me, it's sort of like there's a different perspective at this current time that you may well have in your life, whether that perspective is directed inward or outward. But you're kind of looking at something, possibly something that has been going on for a while, just with a different lens, with a different angle, actually, that is providing a level of, it's providing you with the ability to shift and to allow some more room in here somewhere for you, Sagittarius. Let's just see. Which is quite good. Transformation, yeah. The High Priestess. We understand the High Priestess, so it would indicate, you know, a slightly different, as I said, a slightly different perspective on either elements or aspects of yourself, or you know, circumstance, situation, things that go on in your life. High Priestess would really ask one to go inward and all of that great stuff, and trust your intuition, trust your instincts. We will clarify. We get the Six of Discs, a card of success, of flow. It's called Success in the Thoth deck. It is about natural flow. It's easy to, I mean, to bandy the word, you know, flow around. In my mind, the Six of Discs, you know, traditionally it's sort of generous character, a generous disposition. And it is presented in the physical world. It's a disc. It's about tangible things. But what was I thinking? oh, the ease of talking about easy flow. It's not actually very easy. You know, when it's a free flow, when we're not got any expectations about what's going to come back to us from this generosity, we aren't operating on that level of it. We're existing in quite a kind of fluid line. Is the only way I can sort of explain it. So it's interesting. We've got the Ace of Cups. We all know the Ace is a wonderful gift coming from the divine, coming to us. We work with it. We shape it and shift it in whatever way we choose to do that. I mean, in some ways, looking at these cards, all of them together, it's very watery. Now, when I say that, we get the Two of Cups. There's a reciprocity, mutuality. This is ultimately, though, a card of choice. Remember, it's not... I was going to say it's not all about love. It's about choice, primarily. It's about choice. Let's look at the Nine of Wands. Yeah. This Nine of Wands is more about, as I said when it first came out, it's not so much about burdensome default behaviours or anything like that. It's looking at that from a slightly different perspective, and with that comes a level of great vitality. You could say the sun represents strength as well. It's a force. I mean, it's a real force. We see that at the top of this Nine of Wands. We see that sun. It's working for you. That ninth wand, which could, in some storylines, act as a sort of dampening of one's will and spirit and passion, all of that sort of thing, is not dampening anything here. It's like a fuse that's been lit. You know, it's just reverse psychology, isn't it, really? It's like a lit fuse, and it's giving you a lot more vitality here, which, if any transformation is occurring, we need to be able to have the strength to carry the ball, to get it over the goalposts. I don't know why I'm getting that, but I've got so if we're looking at the Death card here, excuse me, I'm in a different position and it's really strange because the it's a white surface on this desk. I don't know, it's kind of slightly off-putting. So with that Death card that cameth, to clarify, we have the Three of Swords. Yes, understanding that which has hurt us in the past. In the past, we get the Three of what? Did I say Three of Swords? That which is, you know, we understand sorrow, all of that. What heart pain is, what pain is. Three of Wands. We've been on this journey, you know. There's nothing that's going to stop us getting up to that, over that last peak for this period of time, or this last. To me, it does feel like a completion of some kind of cycle. And in fact, I actually feel at this time that that for a lot of people, the general energies are kind of pointing to that this is the ending of a reasonably long cycle. for a lot of people. Anyway, and then we get death again. So transformation. So I've overcome. I think we've overcome maybe dissecting a few issues, understanding the way that we dealt with those, and within that feeling a larger level of confidence in this, whatever it is that you're shifting. At the moment, it began with being able to actually implement a different perspective, Sagittarius. So let's just have a look at the High Priestess invites us in. In some ways, the transformations of sorts, or letting go, interesting, of sorts, we need to enter her realm before this can complete itself or play itself out. Transformation, that is. We let things go in order to allow new things in. It sounds easy, but it's not, is it? So the High Priestess, we get clarification. The Six of Discs again. The Six of Discs again, a flow. There is a choice here. Actually, it's more about choice than about some romantic love kind of thing. This is about choice. Choice of mutuality. And here we see the Six again. Same cards. Six with the Magician. So the High Priestess really holds the key here, that inward knowing and inward going. Maybe that's a good inward knowing and inward going. Yeah, maybe that's you know, a good title for this reading. Six of Discs at the end as well. So we have that Magician. We have that Magician with the Six of Discs. So, Sagittarius, I think you've sort of upped your own ante here somehow. I don't know the specifics, whatever. It could be things that are going on in your life, things that have gone on in the past that you're having to deal with residues of, but you're looking at it you've got a different vantage point to view it at the moment, is what I get. So clarifying this lovely Six of Discs, we're in flow big time. You're in flow with what it is that's a comfortable element to you. King of Wands. This fiery sort of, a fiery place. A fiery place. We have, with that, the Nine of Cups. You know what makes you happy. It's as if there's a time here that you're, not deliberation is not the right word, but you're reviewing how you want to use your cups, because you're going to be using them in a different way. Possibly than what you have in the past, because you've understood or been aware of certain aspects of yourself. We get the Strength card again. So the emphasis on strength, like having a lot of strength. What does that conjure up? To me, it conjures up bravery. And it's kind of bookended, this reading, because strength here and strength here. We see a slightly different aspect to that Nine of Wands. It's interesting. Anyway, let's get a Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairy, oracle, just even a 1 or 2 would be quite good for Sagittarius, please, for this reading on this new moon. Look, I mean, this is like, it's like big jobs, really. We get, what do we get? We've got death 3 times in this reading, transformation. This is a good thing. This is an amazing thing. And what we also have is this great solar force with Solus. The guts of this reading is about knowing your own source force, that thing that you're animated by and that drives you, and that is it's you, Sagittarius. It's just quite an interesting reading of a large level of strength and bravery at this time. You being the counterpart to Gemini, let's have a look at the Art Oracle. I love these cards. Let's have a look. We've got Leonardo da Vinci. I think Gemini, strangely enough, got this last at the Scorpio full moon time. Leonardo da Vinci. I'm not a Renaissance man. I'm a Renaissance man. I like that. Dissect what makes us human. I think you've been doing this, Sagittarius. Look into research like you would a crystal ball. You know, I think you've been doing that. I love this card. Yeah. So, that's your reading for this new moon in Gemini, your counterpart on the cosmic wheel. And so, take good care. And we'll see you as the next full moon rolls around. So take care, Sagittarius. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, these are very general readings, so take what works for you and leave what doesn't. Ka kite, bye.